Hi Stars. So I'm here with another Artist Advice Series episode, and today we're going to be talking about audience. Audience is obviously the most important aspect of anything that you do because you're creating for others. Other people are going to consume your content, whether it be music, art, writing, etc. So I have a few questions that you guys need to ask yourselves when you are looking at an audience or catering to an audience. First, where is the audience? Like literal location. Are they in one city? Are they in one state? Are they in one country? Are they in one genre? You need to decide where your target audience is actually physically located. Not only for distribution, but also for shows and networking. Where is the audience? Next is the age. What age range are they? You can't say all ages because all ages includes a 1-year-old and a 99-year-old. You need to have an audience. You could say it's anywhere between like maybe 18 and 25 or 25 and 32. You need to narrow down the age of your audience. Number 3, what do they listen to? What other artists do they listen to? What other painters do they look at? That way it's easier for you to pitch and easier for you to connect with them because you already know their similar taste. You're not wasting time connecting with people who like one artist that sounds nothing like you. Number 4, what do they want to hear more of? What is missing in the industry? What can you bring to the table with your genre or in your genre? What can you bring to the table with your music, with your art? What is missing in that area, in that audience that you're targeting? What do they hate? So you need to do some market research on this. What does your audience hate? You don't want to create things that they hate. It's typically not a thing that we use to strive for because if they hate it, at the end of the day, yes, they will talk shit about it for a little while, but eventually they'll move on and they'll get over it. So you'll have their attention for 5 seconds and then it'll be done with. So when figuring out your audience, don't go for things that they hate. Figure out what they hate and probably steer away from that. Where do they listen to music? This is a big one, especially now with streaming. Physical CDs are not as common, but are still a thing. I still have a couple of physical copies of CDs, but you need to see where your target audience listens to music the most. Which streaming platform do they use? Do they use Spotify? Do they use Tidal? Do they use Apple? Do they use Mixcloud, SoundCloud? There's so many different streaming platforms that it's very difficult to only be on one. So if you can get on as many as you can, that's great. But if you are only able to get on 1 or 2, the one that your audience most likely uses. And then lastly, where do they buy their music, which kind of piggybacks off of the last thing. Do they still do physical CDs? Do they do streaming services? Do they buy albums on Apple Music? These are things that you need to research because when you are marketing and when you are trying to distribute your music, you need to have these things in order so then that way you can create a better plan for distribution. Your audience, again, is the most important thing because without an audience, without fans, creatives cannot thrive. They can't really accomplish anything. So pinpointing who that audience is and who that target market is one of the major things that you need to do off bat because that's your bread and butter. Yes, your music or your paintings or whatever it may be is a starting point, but you need to have an audience. You need to think, well, would these certain people to feel this way? So how do you make these certain people feel that way? For example, let's say a painter, like let's go Brito. He has very colorful and very abstract paintings. That's what he's going for. And his target market is very niche. You have to like colors and abstract. He's not saying, hey, this is for all ages, even though it probably could be. I mean, a little kid could like it and an older person could like it. But that's not where his target is. His target is people who like colors and like abstract. People who like that certain thing. Let's say Lana Del Rey. She was very in pop and stuff like that, but essentially her songs are very melancholy, and they target people who connect with melancholy, heartbreak, style, low voice type of thing. So that's her target audience. She's not sitting there trying to target your old grandma who's like 80 years old. I'm not saying that she won't listen to it, but that's not where her target audience is. So you have to be very careful when you do decide to go for your target audience, because your audience, again, is your bread and butter, and it's the most important thing when you're coming up in any type of creative field. So that's all for today. If you like all of the Artist Advice series, remember to subscribe, comment, like, share. Check out my website, www.mellystars.com. Follow me on all social media at Melly Starz, MELLYSTARZ. And stay tuned for more of these. Also, leave me a comment and let me know if these are things, if these are helpful, if they're not, if there are certain topics you want me to touch base on. Let me know. All right, bye, stars.